Tell me if this sounds familiar. You've been investing in your website's SEO for months, maybe even years, but you're still not seeing results. You're creating content, following best practices, but you still can't break into those coveted top spots in Google search. Most importantly, your SEO efforts aren't generating the leads and traffic your business needs. Ultimately, you get discouraged, you move on to another marketing task, and SEO gets put on the back burner once again. Well, those days are over, my friend, because in this video, we're going to give you 7 reasons why your website isn't ranking in Google search and actionable ROI-focused solutions for each issue. These insights are based on patterns of successful websites, research on Google's most prominent ranking factors, and my own real-world experience helping businesses rank their site in organic search. My name is Matt Kenyon. I work as a growth partner with businesses to help them get more leads, traffic, and sales from SEO. And I've partnered with Surfer, the best on-page SEO platform on the planet, to bring you this video today. By the end of this video, you'll have actionable strategies to turn your SEO investment into real business growth. Let's start with the first thing that undermines many SEO efforts right from the start: a poor technical foundation. Think of your website like a house. You can decorate it beautifully, but if the foundation is cracked, the entire structure is compromised. The frustrating reality is that even the best content won't reach its fullest potential if we're constantly putting obstacles in front of Google and in front of our users. Most technical problems can be boiled down to 2 main issues. The first is slow site speed. Google has made it clear time and time again that speed matters, both for user experience and for rankings. Sites that take more than 3 seconds to load are abandoned by over 50% of mobile users. The second is broken links and crawlability issues. If Google can't properly navigate and index your site, your content just won't rank no matter how good it is. Plus, a bunch of broken links and 404 pages is obviously a really bad experience for users. You can discover most of these technical issues by running a scan with a tool like Screaming Frog SEO Spider, which is free for up to 500 pages, or by checking the Pages section of Google Search Console, specifically the Why Pages Aren't Indexed section. Now, technical SEO is very important, but it shouldn't consume all of your time and resources. Think of it as the foundational work that you do upfront and periodically check so you can move on to the more creative and impactful facets of SEO. The Google Core Web Vitals tool inside of Google Search Console is the industry standard for measuring if your pages are technically sound and loading quickly. The most common Core Web Vitals issues are uncompressed or oversized images, a slow server, or problems with how your site is rendered in the browser. Now that we've laid a technical foundation, let's get into the next and most primary issue why your content isn't ranking. And that's simply because you're not targeting the right keywords. You can create the most well-researched, beautifully written content in the world. If it's not targeting keywords that your potential customers are actually searching for in Google, it won't rank. Most businesses that I talk to, they know they need SEO content, but they create a bunch of content around really niche topics that are only relevant to a handful of people or to internal stakeholders. For example, a B2B software company might refer to their product as an enterprise resource planning integration platform, right? That's on all of their marketing resources, it's on their website. The only problem is their target customers are not typing that into Google. Instead, they're searching for things like how to connect QuickBooks to my CRM, sync accounting software with sales data, best tools to link ERP with Salesforce, or automated data flow between business systems. The difference between good SEOs and great SEOs is the ability to have this kind of searcher empathy. Here's some other common mistakes I see businesses make with keyword selection. First, they only chase keywords with high monthly search volume. Yes, those big, juicy terms with 10,000 monthly searches are certainly tempting, but they're usually dominated by major players with massive domain authority and huge content budgets. For most businesses, they're simply out of reach in the short to medium term. The second mistake is ignoring search intent. This is what I mean by having searcher empathy. Understanding why someone is searching for a term is probably the most fundamental skill you can have as an SEO. What are they trying to do? Are they trying to learn something? understand something, browse or buy or compare products, if you can master this, it will take your SEO skills to the next level. Thankfully, you can figure this out pretty quickly by just studying the search results of your target keyword. For example, if you search your keyword and 8 out of the 10 results on the first page of Google are list articles comparing a bunch of products, well, Google clearly rewards list articles comparing products, and they base what they rank on user behavior, so it's safe to say that that's what users are looking for as well when they search that term. Instead of chasing down high volume terms, we want to find what I call the keyword sweet spot. That's the intersection of high search volume, low competition, and high business relevance. Surfer's keyword research tool can take a head keyword and from it create a series of related keyword ideas. For example, rather than targeting content marketing with its massive competition, a B2B marketing agency might instead choose to write a piece on best practices for content marketing, which has less search volume but also much less competition. It's better to rank number one for a relevant keyword with low volume than to be invisible on page 5 for a high volume term. Start with winnable battles, build your authority, and then expand from there. I work with a lot of B2B clients, and when I audit their websites, I usually find that they have a dozen or so pieces of content that are very well written and well researched, but get almost zero organic traffic. This leads me to the next reason why your website isn't ranking in Google, and that's thin content. The SEO firm First Page Sage has been conducting research about Google's ranking factors for the last 15 years and publishing their results. By far the most important ranking factor, according to their research, is consistently publishing satisfying content. Now, you don't need to look far in Google's official search guidelines to see that that's what they want too. Think about it. If you were Google, what kind of content would you reward with the top spot? The kind of content that perfectly satisfies user intent and makes the back button on their browser not even a temptation. And the reality is, that's really hard to do in 500 words or less. Now, I am not saying that Google has some sort of arbitrary word count that they're looking for in content, because they absolutely don't. However, they do look for content that is thorough enough to cover the topic that the searcher is searching for without being overwhelming. So, how can you tell if your content is thin and needs a little bit of beefing up? Well, generally speaking, if your content is under 1,000 words and gets zero or almost zero organic traffic despite being well written, that means it's probably thin content. However, a much easier, more efficient, and more data-driven approach to finding your thin content is to use Surfer's content audit tool. Just type in your domain, and the tool will automatically reveal all your pages and their on-page scores. You can click through the highest priority pages where you'll be taken to Surfer's content editor. From here, you'll get a comprehensive view of your content's coverage in the Topics tab. You'll find which facts are relevant for your article, which ones you've covered, and which ones are missing. You'll also see a list of on-page fixes to make the post the best it can possibly be, including ideal word count, headers, images, and keywords to inject throughout the piece. A good rule of thumb that I come back to time and time again is to give the user everything they need to satisfy their search intent and not a single word more. Sites that know what they're doing with SEO will often have lots of contextual links throughout their content, leading the user to related pages. If you don't, this may be one of the reasons you're not ranking in Google, and that's poor internal linking. Contextual internal linking is one of the most powerful things you can do to jumpstart your rankings, and fortunately, it's one of the easiest too. Great internal links truly have no downside. They distribute backlink authority throughout your site, they help Google crawl and index your site more easily, and they keep users on your site for longer. Did you catch what I said there? Internal links actually pass backlink authority throughout your site. Here's why that's so important. Let's say you have a piece of content, an informational post that gets a lot of backlinks, and you want to transfer some of that authority to your more conversion focused pages. Using internal linking, that distributes some of that backlink authority, or what SEOs sometimes call link juice, to those pages that are harder to get backlinks to. The result is improved rankings, not only on your top of funnel content, but also on your money pages. An easy and free way to find internal link opportunities is just to go page by page and type in the follow Google search operator. Your target keyword, site, colon, and then your site. This will reveal any indexed pages on your site that contain that target keyword and thus may be good candidates for internal linking. An easier way to see all your internal links is to paste your content into Surfer's audit tool. Then click Show Internal Links. This will give you a handful of potential internal link candidates as well as which part of the content to contextually link from. Before long, you'll have an entire ecosystem of content that not only engages your users well, but shows Google that you're an authority in your niche. But what if you don't have any content to link to? Well, that leads me to the next reason why you may not be ranking in Google, and that's weak topical authority. Another mistake I see businesses make all the time is publishing content that's relevant to their audience, but completely unrelated to each other. It almost seems like the topics they cover on a week to week basis are completely random. For example, if you're an email marketing platform, you might publish one post on subject line optimization one week, and the next week you decide to publish a post on using email marketing for lead generation, and then the next week you publish a post on deliverability. These are all great topics and super relevant for your audience, but they can confuse Google, especially if you don't have a lot of pre-existing search authority. A more strategic approach is to create a core pillar page all about email marketing, the comprehensive ultimate guide to email marketing. And then from there, we branch off and create supporting pages all about things like email marketing KPIs, comparing the latest email marketing tools, email marketing templates, or how to do email marketing for various different types of businesses. By covering this topic comprehensively from multiple different angles and with multiple different pieces of content, you create a topic cluster that signals to Google that you have deep expertise and authority in this niche. Now, this approach does two powerful things. It shows Google all the relationships between your content pieces, and it builds your authority in a much more effective way than the scattershot approach that a lot of businesses take when it comes to publishing content. When your authority is concentrated in one topic rather than scattered across many, you have a much better chance of slowly building that authority and ranking for more competitive terms. But in order to write content targeting these keywords, we need to identify these keywords. So how do we do that? Well, an easy and free way is to just Google your target keyword, scroll down to the People Also Search For section, and study the related topics. From here, you can click each related topic and repeat this process to go even more granular. Now, a more efficient way to do this is with my personal favorite feature of Surfer, and that's topical map. I'm not kidding when I say that this is something I have wanted for years, and if Surfer didn't build this, I was about to go out and build this myself. You create a topical map in Surfer by connecting your Google Search Console or by entering in your target topic. From there, Surfer creates a comprehensive database of your topic clusters. What's really powerful about this feature is that it doesn't just show you related topics, but it also analyzes your existing content to identify gaps in your coverage. My favorite part by far is this visualization with hexagons representing different topics. The big hexagon in the middle is your main topic, and the smaller hexagons around it are related subtopics. The color coding makes it easy to see which areas you've already covered, shown in purple, and which areas are opportunities for new content, shown in white. To prioritize which keywords you go after, you can see the associated keyword metrics inside Topical Map. You can also filter by monthly volume or keyword difficulty. That way, you can start with a cluster that's low competition, completely fill that one out, and then make your way to the more challenging topics as you progressively grow in traffic and authority. This systematic approach to building topical authority is what separates websites that occasionally rank for a few terms from the organic traffic powerhouses that absolutely dominate their niche. Speaking of which, you do follow a content schedule, right? because the sixth reason you may not be ranking in Google search is infrequent content production. Now, I see this all the time. An internal stakeholder gets really excited about SEO. Usually it's the CEO or the marketing director. And so they publish a bunch of content pieces, but then they just stop. And they wonder why they never ranked. So they move on to the next marketing task and just assume that SEO is dead. The thing is, I've studied a lot of websites in my career, and the real winners in SEO never stop publishing search optimized content. There is no hard and fast rule on how much content you need to publish to see results, and a lot of it depends upon your budget and how quickly you want to grow. However, in my professional opinion and in my experience, a good benchmark to shoot for is at least one high quality post per week, if not more. This frequency also trains Google's crawlers to index your site more often, helping you rank more quickly for topics as you publish them. Now, if the thought of writing all this content fills you with existential dread, number one, I don't blame you, and number two, Surfer makes this a lot more manageable. You can select topics from your topical map in bulk and quickly create content editor drafts or even AI-generated content to fill out your topic cluster. Seriously, my primary deliverables with clients are developing topical authority strategy and then writing the content to support that strategy. So when this feature dropped, I wanted to get on a plane and fly to Poland and hug these guys. Not only should you be regularly creating search optimized content, but you should be regularly refreshing your existing content, which leads me to the next reason why your site may not be ranking in Google search, and that's a lack of content freshness. When was the last time you updated your content? If it's anything beyond 6 months, you're likely missing out on some organic traffic benefits. According to the experiments run by First Page Sage, website pages that update at least once per year gain an average of 4.6 positions in the SERPs versus pages that aren't updated at all. This makes sense because statistics and data changes, and keyword demand goes up and down in volume, and customer sentiments evolve. There's a reason why a lot of high-ranking sites, especially those in industries that progress rapidly, have the updated date on their SEO content. So what should you be updating to keep your content fresh? Well, the first thing I would do is to make sure that the keyword you're targeting is still relevant to your audience. If it is, I would paste the URL along with the keywords you're targeting into Surfer's content audit tool and determine your on-page score. You can also bring the content into a content editor document inside of Surfer, click the topics tab, and see any topics you're not covering inside of the content. I'd also scan the page and make sure that it contains all the relevant internal links to all the new content you've been publishing because you got on a content publishing schedule, right? Right. You can do this automatically with the new Insert Semantic Links feature inside the content editor. Lastly, I would make sure that any data or statistics referenced is the latest available and that you're doing everything you can to satisfy search intent. Then don't force it. If your content already meets this criteria, it's likely not a good candidate for refreshing. You can just move on to the next piece of content or create new search optimized content. So that's it. 7 reasons why you may not be ranking in Google and some concrete ways to fix it. You can see why SEOs stay pretty busy. But if you're looking to simplify the SEO content creation process, click the link in the description and give Surfer a try. Also, check out my channel for some more SEO tips and watch this video next from the Surfer Academy YouTube channel. Thanks so much for watching and happy ranking.